Meow.
So we bought this grand old Victorian. It's huge out here in the Midwest. And of course, this only cost about $34,000, of course. So the porch is in pretty good shape. I think it just needs a coat of paint. The rest of the house, however, is a different story. You can see it has lots of lovely woodwork, a beautiful stairway. Yeah, I'm not sure about that fireplace. I'm gonna put an electric insert in there. And then we have the sliding doors that go into the great big dining room. And then there's some ceiling damage I have to address. Good old wood paneling. So the first project I'm gonna conquer in this behemoth is the kitchen cabinets. First of all, I want to remove all that hideous trim. And surprisingly, it came off really easy. Now I wanted to fix that scalloping. I think that looks really dated. So I just cut off the scalloped edges after I pried it off of the cabinet. And then I reattached it real easy like. So that's what it looks like, a cleaner, more updated look already. And I discovered somebody's candy stash while I was cleaning out the tops of the cabinets. First thing I did was I removed all the handles. And I also removed the cabinets from the frame, or the cabinet doors. You know what I mean. And then I sanded down the frame so that it wouldn't bleed through. I should have done the same thing for the lower cabinets. First coat was a barn paint, just a cheap barn paint for the first coat. There it is with its initial coat on the upper cabinets. And I painted the interior of the cabinet a dark blue. I was going to paint the outside a dark blue, but it was just too much. And I used a porch paint for the exterior. It was a good quality paint. And I did the same for the cabinet doors. One coat of barn paint, one coat of porch paint. And there it is with the hinges put on it. And there it is with both doors hanging up, so you can kind of see how pretty they're going to be. So I come across this every once in a while where the cabinets won't quite fit. I have to really press them together. You can see that the cabinets don't quite fit, but I want them to. I want it to be a really high-end type of cabinetry here. So what I'm doing to make them fit is, besides sandpaper, I'm using a ceiling scraper. And this is working really well as kind of like a wood chisel. I'm just going along here, and just slimming down both sides of the cabinets so that they'll fit together properly. I wasn't able to move the hinges over. The way that they're made is just not possible. Now I basically have I'll turn on the light. So now I basically have the top cabinets done. I just need to touch up those real quick. So I'm going to start in on the bottom cabinets. I'm going to paint the insides that dark blue, just like they are up here. I think that looks pretty attractive. And then over here, there's a gap for the access to plug in the dishwasher. So I'm just gonna cut that board to size to slide in right there. I think that'll be a good solution, and then I'll just paint that white. Okay, back again on an extremely windy day. And now I finished painting the inside of the lower cabinets. And I will paint the outside white. And then I'll saw off a little board to put under here. And should get this thing looking like a regular kitchen. I'm excited to have it look like a nice old kitchen. So while I'm starting to paint the lower cabinets white on the outside, I want to prepare my board that covers up this hole that leads to the electric outlet for the dishwasher. So I'm just going to measure the opening from there to there and there to an appropriate opening in front of the dishwasher. And then I'll cut out my board. Okay, so I filled in that area with the board that I'll paint white. It's not so attractive, so I don't know if I can fill in some of the gaps with some wood filler and try to make it look more like it's supposed to be there. So I had to cut out the countertop for this apron sink, and as you can see, it made an ugly hole. So I want to cover that up. So I'm going to cut a board to go all the way, well, not all the way across, about there, so I have room for my corner cupboard cover. For the cabinet door. There we go. We can speak English. So I'm going to cut that out of some boards that I have. They're really thin little boards used for covering the walls. So I think that'll be perfect for giving me a little cover up to my boo-boo. Okay, so I got my board cut out. And it covers up the flawed area very nicely. I think this calls for alien tape to attach it. All of the cabinet doors and the frames have gotten a single coat, so I will repaint the frame and then screw on all the cabinet doors and then give them a second coat. And I also want to fill in any holes on this board with some spackling that I got, because I'm not really happy with how it looks now. It looks pretty cheap. I don't want to go for cheap. Okay, so we'll see how the second coat turns out. Some of the cabinets, the hinges are old and they don't sit quite well together, so I had to mark them where the other cabinet door hit them, and then I'll just saw that little piece off, and it should sit well when they're closed. So you can see the cupboards now close well. I had to do the same thing on this side as well. So I'm just going to give them a second coat and add the knobs. Got the second coat on the lower cabinets. Unfortunately, they bled through because I was lazy and I didn't sand them. So I'm going to have to use some kills to stop that from happening. So now I marked the center of each one of the drawers. And I'm going to use a bit that's just slightly smaller than the bolt. And then I'm going to put the cute little black knobs in. Of course, the bolt is too short. So I'm going to drill it out with this. Make a circle there so it'll sink in, and hopefully it'll be long enough then. Sunk the hole in, so I think it reaches out enough to give a good grip to the knob. The knobs go in this way, but I think that looks kind of stupid. So I tilted it this way, and I think that'll do, because that'll match the ones on the cupboards. That should be good enough. Thanks for watching.